Hey, dear Tyler, good morning. And how are you doing? I really hope you're good. I hope you're fine. Um, and yes, I hope you've listened to the two podcasts, that I put out. I know I hadn't put out podcasts for a while, but then I'm doing kind of like, yes, and I remember back then, it's called an omnibus, right? So it's just like you're just giving it back to back, back to back, back to back. So um, releasing these podcasts back to back, so that we'll be able to catch up with what we need to do and also help you with enough content to keep us, as engaged as possible, right? And so I hope you've listened to the podcast on goodness, and it was good. And then also the podcast on faithfulness, that is, yes, I will, right? Yes, I do, so I will, right? Yes, that's the theme. So I hope you've listened and I hope it has blessed you. And yes, so please and please, it would mean the world to me, the absolute best, the absolute world to me, if you can just share these podcasts with other people, right? It's very easy to just share it through whatever platform that you're using. Just, you know, send the link, share it on your WhatsApp status, um, share it on your Facebook, uh, send it, broadcast it to friends if they won't mind, share it on Instagram, whatever social media platform that you use. It would mean the world to me, one. And I also believe that each of these topics that we do get to discuss on would really, really bless lives. It's something that I think would really help lives, right? Um, and so we're getting into second to the last part of our study on the fruits of the Holy Spirit. And today we're going to be talking about gentleness, right? And titled it The Gentle Giant, right? The Gentle Giant. Now, gentleness is kind of a thing, it's an attribute that uh, it has its uniqueness. Um, in the sense that it I think it's easier known as humility. I think some parts of scripture call it meekness, humility. Now, this is the stuff about humility. A lot of people think humility is playing the background. Humility is, um, you know, just shying away from certain things. Humility is bowing down to somebody, showing that level of respect and awe. But I think it goes way beyond that. Um, as I think it comes from this point where you have the ability to do something, right? But then you choose the other way. Um, let me see if I could really, really fashion it in an exceptional way. This is humility. You know how to play a musical instrument very well, right? But then you may, probably you're part of like a music team. Maybe this is what it's coming to me because I'm part of a music team and all. And so you're part of a music team, and probably you have a deeper understanding than your leader, right? You know way more than the leader, which isn't wrong in itself, and making some little the person is making some little errors and all. But humility is, I know what this is, but this authority has been placed above me, and I would submit myself to that authority. I have absolute knowledge about certain things, right? or I have greater knowledge about certain things. But then I have decided to put that, or to keep all of that aside and submit myself to someone that has been given a constituted authority over me. Now that's big, because left to you at that point in time, you can deliver in an exceptional way. But you have brought that your competence into subjection. You have brought it under an authority. And it shows that you truly, truly understand the value of leadership and all. That's an aspect. That's an aspect. Humility is also bringing yourself to a level that others can understand you. Bringing yourself to a level that others can relate with you. Creating that proper atmosphere for people to be able to, come close to you, relate with you, to glean from wisdom. It's very easy for people to take advantage of humble people, right? Or humble people, because it would be really, really hard to know that these people really know a lot. Really, really know a lot. Really, really know a lot. So it will surprise you the kind of, or maybe the caliber of people that are in your circle, and you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know that this person was this big and all. That's a real sign of humility. That they're not using their title, they're not using their pedigree, right, to relate with you now. They want that level field where you can be able to relate with them. Humility can also be seen in let me give an example, like the life of Moses, for instance, right? So he had a very meek spirit, a very gentle spirit. Moses had an advantage with God. And God looked at Moses one time and was like, okay, these people that we've brought out of Egypt, they're really, really giving me a tough time. And see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe all of them out, and I'll just start my new lineage with you. And Moses, having that, deep connection with God, having that right, could have said that, yeah, honestly, leave me to, I'm like tired, I'm fed up, these guys are always complaining and all. But he refused to separate himself from the people. And he was like, Lord, if you do this now, it's not a shame to all of us. Do you understand? He used his authority to intercede for the children of Israel. The children of Israel. Big deal. Where you could have that advantage, you could actually escape the wrath of something, right? But then you read it, he said that in Hebrews chapter 11, he said that he was willing to partake in the sufferings of the people of Israel rather than enjoy the pleasures of sin in Egypt. It's a big thing when you have the ability to have a constitute or to enjoy a certain advantage, but you decide not to because of your loyalty to others. Now that's a meek spirit. That's a gentle spirit. Not easily agitated, these people are this. No. Because it takes a whole lot of meekness to be able to put yourself in that position. It takes a whole lot of meekness, right? To learn from someone that is like not up to you in a way, but to agree to say, okay, I'm going to follow the leading of this person. It takes a whole lot of meekness to do that. There's a reason why I titled it The Gentle Giant, because that giant status, right? It speaks about like height, your pedigree, your let me not use your our strength, how magnanimous we are, how big we are, maybe how accomplished we've been, right? And the impact that greatness can have if we decide to yield its full capacity. If we decide to wield, not yield, if we decide to wield its full capacity, right? But then we decide that, nah, there's somebody I'm under or whatever it is, and I'm going to follow that due process. How you handle people, some people may have struggles, do you understand? Understanding certain concepts that you have mastered. That coming down to their level is truly an act of gentleness. Because you can respond in rage. You can respond in rage. You can. Now, another part of humility that people don't tend to really speak a lot about is not knowing how to do something and agreeing to be taught. You see, one of the major indications of pride, right, is whenever you say, I can do it myself. Hell! That is a pompous spirit. I can do it myself. I don't need anybody. I can do it myself. I don't need anybody. Nah. That is pride. That is pride. Being under tutorship, being under discipleship, right? Being mentored by anybody of any field is a great sign of humility. Do you know what it means to carry your will? Because you have that power to choose not to. But you've actually put your will under subjection to be taught. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Gentleness. It's a big deal. It's a real sign of humility. So think about it, Tyler. What are some of the things that we have done over time that hasn't properly expressed that sign of humility? So let me, I don't know, I was looking for a very good example. Sometimes maybe you're at a checkpoint, for instance, and then like maybe the security operators at that time are like, okay, come out of your car. I remember there was a time I was traveling, and they stopped our car. It was a period of a crisis, and also they stopped our car, and I think that was the period I was keeping periods or something. And then the soldier just looked at me and was like, you come out of the car. I was like, okay. He said, who are you? I told him. He said, show me identification. I did. He said, where's your bag? I just went over and I said, this is it. He said, open the bag. And I just opened it. As I just opened the bag, I left it open for him. He didn't even check. He said, what's inside? I said, my clothes. So what's happening? He said, I'm traveling to this place. He was like, okay, go. Right. I zipped up the bag and we all left. Quietly. Right? Now I could have come up and I'll be like, sir, but did I do, no, you don't have the right to, and naturally they don't really have that right to. They need to tell me what they're doing first. Okay, we're searching everything. Why are you picking on me? Do you understand? Let me know. Do I look like a suspect or so that it's not like I'm being harassed? Do you understand? But at that time, I just kept all my Miranda rights or whatever they call it. Now, I would never forget one instance where I was traveling and a passenger was rude to one of the officials, right? One of the security operatives. And they told us that we're going to park there. And they literally parked us there for like 30 minutes. They said, you're not going anywhere. And the woman was still trying to talk. Everybody was like, papa, talking. Do you understand? What is all that? People like that, she should keep quiet. Just like, no, this, that. She knows her right. And her right kept us there for 30 minutes. It's one thing to, just having that gentle spirit and doing it doesn't make you any less, right? When you show cooperation, it doesn't make you any less. Doesn't make you any less. Doesn't make you any less at all. I remember we had issues with some security guys. I think I was in a Bolt one day, heading home, and then the security guys stopped the Bolt driver. He was just raking, and then one of the ladies now pointed out and was like, it was hilarious. She pointed at, she now said that, do you know who this man is? Like, she showed him a picture. He was like, yeah, that's my boss. Are you trying to threaten me or something? She was like, so that should mean she let us go. I was like, no, that he's doing his job. So I now had to come out. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Please forgive us. He was like, what's the meaning of that? Is she trying to threaten me? We stop people here every night. Answer us in a simple way. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry and all. You get, and then when we're leaving, the boat driver was like, don't mind all these people. Don't mind the blah, 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 blah. And my man was like, okay, just do and drop me at my AYA. Let me find my way home. Right? You see, every time we show that expression of either rage or agitation, we never do ourselves a favor. We never, ever do ourselves a favor. Sometimes they could be asking you a very, very pertinent question. It may be very, very important to you, to your safety and all, but because you've become agitated and you have rights that you know of, you could put yourself in major, major trouble. I know what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Just be like, okay, wow, thank you. Who's the owner of the car? I am. Do you have your ID? Yes, I do. Do you have this? Yes, I do. Do this, do that, do this, do that. It's very, 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 very important. It helps. And it just shows the heart that the Spirit of God has truly, truly worked on. It shows the heart that the Spirit of God has truly worked on. You are big. You are accomplished. I heard of a story once, I think I'll end with this, about what a gentle spirit can do. And how big gentle people really are. A woman was driving, and I think she had like a minor accident with someone, and then the person was actually at fault. So he came out and was like, oh, madam, I'm so sorry. Right, madam, I'm so sorry. And she was like, I think she slapped the man and was like, do you know where? She now called her husband, military personnel. It was like, this is what happened though. Come and see what the guy's done to my car. The man was like, please, madam, just calm down. She was like, no, that today you'll see it, blah, blah, blah. And so, the husband came over and immediately was like, what happened? Who hit your car? And then she was like, see this man who's under the car. And then her husband turned to the man and then, just stood at attention and saluted the man. And that was his boss. Trust me, right? Big people, great people hardly make noise. Hardly make noise. Hardly make noise. I remember I was in camp and I sat down with one guy, I was just talking anyhow. La 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 la. It was like, I know. That I was telling him about how boring Saeed was. And he was like, I know, that he is learning a lot too. She was like, that he's using it for his company. I was like, company? He said, yes. I said, that he sews clothes. That he sold some of the natives for the vice president. I was like, Baba, when come together like this, he showed me the pictures and everything. I was like, Che, I see that I was just, running my mouth up and down. Do you understand? You don't know what your meekness can do. For you. Strength, right, is really hidden in meekness. Real strength is hidden in meekness. That gentle spirit. You cannot imagine the strength, the caliber, the capacity, right, the ability of the people that just speak in a very calm tone or carry this very gentle spirit. And that spirit of gentleness brings hope. There's something that the meek people, I think it was part of the Beatitudes, Jesus said that blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The people that are meek have deep-rooted relationships. They have amazing people, like loyalists to them. They literally win people over. Meek people literally win people over. It's like you just know that with this person, there's not going to be any sign of chaos. No sign of chaos. And so these are some of the things that the Spirit of God works in us. Builds humility, builds meekness, fosters gentleness in us. And so it's very important that we talk about, we speak to God, relate to the Spirit, the things that easily agitate us, and really asking for help. But this aspect, humility, gentleness, meekness, right, is something that the Spirit of God truly works on. The more you grow in the things of God, the more the expression of meekness and gentleness is. Because you know that there is so much more, and there is so much that you can learn, even from the basest of levels, even from the crudest of abilities and potential. There is something you can learn. In fact, you could even learn how not to do certain things from people. So it's not just what you can do, but you can also learn what not to do. I think I'll end with this story, and I promise this is the last story. There was this guy that I knew, like in school. He said, I think he graduated first class in building. He said something, I've written 56 exams and I've gotten 52 A's. I was like, hell. Us, we're looking for, I think we've written how many exams? I've gotten like 4 A's or maybe 5 A's. He's talking about 52 A's in 56 exams. And he had like how many left? I've actually graduated his first class. Anyway, so he said when he always checks his other classmates' scripts, he was like, when he gets 19, maybe 19 over 20 in a test or so, that he looks through other people's works, not to judge what they did, and be like, I'm the highest. No. He said he searches for what might have made him miss out on that one mark so that he can correct it. He said when he gets 20, he actually looks for people that get 0, not to mock them. He really wants to know what was it about his script that gave him that 20, and what was it that was missing in another one. So he also gets 20. Any scenario, right, is an avenue to learn. Any scenario is an avenue to learn. So, Tyler, can we take out time to really pray and ask the Spirit of God to help us to have a gentle spirit, a spirit that is open enough to learn. a spirit that is truly open enough to learn, right? It will give us such an advantage in life. Is that okay? All right, so remember, this is me signing out, right? So remember, I love you, I believe in you, and I'm always rooting for you, right? Thank you, and have an awesome day. Bye.